We're Richard and Jackie, and we are Early Retirement Wanderlust.
We've just got back from a 5-week European tour where we started in the north of Spain and we headed up the French Atlantic coast. Welcome to part 7, where we discover the coastal regions of Brittany and Normandy. So as we said in the introduction, this is the last part of our 5-week road trip, and it doesn't take a genius to work out that we're actually back in Yorkshire.
We've always said in our road trips that we don't actually have any plans. That's not quite true. We always set off with a few travel guides. This time we took Martin Dory's Take the Slow Road.
And we love this book, and we love quite a few of the books that he's written because they are very campervan specific. And the tour that we took took us from the Spanish border all the way up the Surf Coast and ended just at the southern tip of Brittany.
From there we swapped books. Our daughter, a few years ago when we first bought the campervan, bought us this book, France's Best Trips, a Lonely Planet Guide, and we followed loads of the itineraries on here. So we had a look at some of the Brittany stops, which is where we got some of the ideas of where we were going to go.
So we had about a week left on our travels and we decided that we were going to try and hit coastal Brittany. But to be fair, the weather wasn't that great as we headed north, and that's probably one of the reasons why we're talking to you now when we're at home, because it wasn't really conducive to linking or even trying to speak on video.
Yeah, it was very windy. So the first place that we visited on our little tour of Brittany was a city called Vannes, and it was absolutely stunning. Unfortunately, the bad weather spell did continue for a while, so we headed inland a little bit and we went through a tiny little artist colony called Ponteven.
It was beautiful. Granted, it was a Saturday morning and it was really quiet before the crowds arrived, but we had a lovely time just exploring this tiny little place, getting completely lost in art that we didn't understand and really abstract art.
And actually there's a couple of walls in our little cottage that we've just been renovating that we do want some artwork for, but I couldn't afford any of it.
And then we headed off to a place we were really looking forward to actually revisit, which was Concarneau. And we have got such fond memories of that when we came out way back in the day on a family holiday with extended family, and we were really excited about visiting Concarneau.
Again, the weather wasn't with us. We had a walk around the city. It is a really beautiful walled city. It's a old Vauban fort. Inside the city walls, there's just lots of little medieval streets with timber-lined buildings. But the weather was just not great. So we did have a wander around. We did appreciate how beautiful it was, but actually we didn't stay very long.
We were feeling a little bit grumpy as well, to
We
be
were.
fair. And I think our camera work as well, because it's a really strange feeling that you said at the time. it's one of the reasons why you should never go back to places that you absolutely love.
Yes, definitely.
Continuing our tour of the towns, now we've got to be really careful on the pronunciation of this. We visited Camper, not Quimper. Again, just an absolutely beautiful city, really nice architecture. We hit it on a Sunday morning, so again, really quiet. There was a church service going on, a huge square where we sat and had a coffee and watched the world go by. And cities like that are just so beautiful in the morning before the crowds arrive.
Yeah, it was just waking up. After that, we tootled off right up to the west coast, I suppose you'd say, of Brittany, and to a tiny little inlet area to a town called Cameret-sur-Mer. It was lovely. We got the bikes out. It finally stopped raining to have a really good explore. Really interesting for photography.
We had so much fun with the cameras because down on the quayside there was just a whole series of boat graveyards, for better words, and there's just so many opportunities for beautiful photography, and we'd got stormy skies, and we just spent loads of time down there pootling around and shooting far too many photos.
Yeah, it was lovely. And we stayed on a paid air, which I think is the first time we've ever done that. So we had to try and work out how to let ourselves into this air, which was quite amusing.
We are doing a video on that in the next video about the differences between airs and campsites, but yeah, it was a really good experience. And the following morning, we woke up to amazing weather. And ironically, as we were leaving the peninsula, it was just so beautiful. And we found the most expansive beach. And you really could have been in Cornwall. It was a stunning vista with sand and sea as far as the eye could see.
Yeah, we really liked Cameret. off from this book was visiting a town called Dinan. I think it's one of the most picturesque towns that I've ever visited.
It's really strange because Dinan has its own port, but it's way, way down an estuary, far away from the sea. And you wander through the port, and we found a beautiful park up underneath the viaduct where there were loads of van lifers. But then once you start heading up the hill, you come to the most impressive walled city.
It's just got streets that are lined with medieval timber-clad buildings and cobbled roads. We went up in the day and it was quite busy. We sat and had a coffee and watched the world go by, which was really good fun. And then we decided we wanted to go back at night.
And it was actually a top tip from the book where they said, go during the day, but then it's the strangest phenomenon in the fact that the city just empties out, and after 7 o'clock you've pretty much got it to yourself.
So that's it. Sadly, we've come to the end of our 5-week travels and we have had a blast. We had no plans when we set off, apart from that we booked our ticket to Santander and a ticket back from Caen.
It's been an absolute blast exploring all the places that we've explored over the course of the 7 videos, and we hope that you've enjoyed coming along with us. It was really nice to come back to Yorkshire. It was really nice to come back to our lovely little house, and we're going to settle here for a few more weeks.
Definitely. If you are interested in any of the road trip top tips that we've had, these are 2 books that we definitely recommend. So the Lonely Planets, Best French Trips, and
Take the Slow Road in France with Martin Dorry. We are not massive ones for plugging things, but we like these simple books. That we think that there's some absolute gems in there, and I'll put the links in the description below.
Yeah, so that's it for now, and we will catch you up with probably more of our exploits from Yorkshire.
See you later.
Bye.